Alright guys, welcome back to part 5 of your Java with MySQL tutorials, and in part 5 we're going to be creating the register functional. Well, we're going to program the register page, the section, whatever you want to call it. So simply what we want to do is collect the data from inside all the fields, collect them and send them to the database when the user clicks this button, and yeah, that's pretty much it, and make a new record inside the table. So let's get started because I've re-recorded this video like 4 times already. I'm kind of pissed off right now, but let's get started. I already have the code written out and I'm only going to explain it. So I'm going to go through it line by line. First of all, we have this if statement. You're going to say, why do we have an if statement? Well, we have an if statement because this if statement, simply all it does is it checks that none of these fields are empty. So it says if name field, which is this JText field. So if this is empty, or this is empty, or this is empty, or this is empty, or this is empty, do not let the user register. Okay. So what we do is obviously we make an if statement for that. So let's see how we did that. So okay. So the first thing we did, we said if, of course, 2 parameters, and inside it you do name field dot get text. Now you say, what is this name field? Well, this name field is simply the name of my name field. Not too hard, was it? So that's what it is, the name field. So we say name field dot get text. So get the text from inside the name field and equals whatever in here. So we say if name field is equal to blank. So if it's equal to nothing, or these 2 pipes means or in Java. That's what it means. OR. So instead of making 5 different if statements to do one thing, instead we just do one if statement and we just say if this or this or this or this or this happens, then do this. So that's how we do it. So we say if name field is equal to blank, or reg username is equal to blank, or email field is equal to blank, or the password field, reg password field is equal to blank, or if the h field is equal to blank, then if that is true, well then we want to do j option pane, which is a pop-up message, show message dialog, null. That's the first parameter, it always goes. Second parameter is your content, so we say invalid details. This \n is how you skip a line, so we say invalid details, skip a line, please try again. And then the third parameter is the title. So yeah, the title is this error. And then the fourth parameter is what type of message is it. So is it an information message? Is it a an error message? Is it a plain message? Is it, whatever. So we say it's an error message. So it gives it a big red X, a danger, something went wrong, So that's pretty much it. Then you do a return statement. Make sure you have that in there. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the if statement. So this simply checks if none of the fields are empty. If they're not, well, great, continue. If they are, stop. It doesn't let you do anything. Okay, let's move on. Then we are down here, which is the big chunk of the code. It's we make a try and a catch statement simply. So try, catch, inside the catch you do exception, e, j option pane, show message dialog, null, and e, because you named your exception e, so it's simply going to show us the error, what the hell went wrong. Then after that it's finally, and then you say try, and you simply close the results and then the prepare statement. So mine is called rs, and my prepared statement is called ps, which these are up there if you're wondering. You should know what these are already. Results set rs and ps. Okay. Now let's go back down. Is this the right one? Yes. And we simply do wherever there's a try, there has to be a catch. So we say catch and it's blank. Okay. Now back to the big chunk, which is this. Okay. First of all, you're gonna notice we made a string and we named it SQL. And inside it, of course, we put whatever we want to do with the database. Okay, so what the hell do we want to do? Let me tell you what we're going to do. Okay, so string SQL equals to put a record into, or to put data into your table, your database table, you use the keyword insert. And by the way, MySQL is not case sensitive, so this can be in lowercase, it can be in capitals, whatever. Okay, we do insert into your table name, which is users, right? So that's what my table name is. That's what I named it in the first tutorial. Then we follow it up by parameters. So right there we do parameters, and you put in all the columns that you want to put out. So mine is ID, name, email, age, username, and password. And then after that, after you've finished all that, straight after it's make a space, and we do values, right? And then you do more parameters, 2 parameters, and then we do inside here. So let me explain what these question marks are. Well, first of all, when you see a question, when you set a value to a question mark in SQL, that means you're going to declare that value later on in the code. So you say, well, we don't, you tell MySQL, right, in plain English, you say, well, we don't know what this value is yet, but later on, I'm going to tell you what this value is. So MySQL is going to say, okay, I'm not going to give you an error, make sure you tell me what it is later. And you say, alright, cool, right? That's pretty much what it is, right? So we say, but why don't we just have 1? Well, here's the thing. We said there's 5 different columns. So look here. So I have ID number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6 different columns. That's why I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 different question marks. If I had 7 columns, I'd have 7 question marks. If I had 2 columns, I'd have 2 question marks. If I had 1, I'd have 1 question mark. You get the idea, okay? Now, one thing you want to make sure, your last letter or whatever it is, your last word in the brackets cannot be like this. This is not right. You see this right here? You cannot have an apostrophe right at the end. The last one has nothing, okay? Make sure you don't make that mistake, otherwise you get an error. So that's pretty much it. Next, it gets easier, nothing difficult. We say PS equals con, which is our connection. Dot prepare statement SQL, which we made it right there, and we say SQL. Now next, we do PS prepare statement. So it's PS is my prepare statement variable. So I say PS dot set int 1 and 0. Now what the hell is this right here? Well, PS dot set int is the same as PS dot set string and all that, except we're setting an int. Now why an int? Well, first of all, when I made my ID column in SQLit, when I made my table in the first tutorial, my ID was an integer. So I can't set a string into an integer. It's got to be an int. It's got to be an integer into an integer. You can't put an integer into a string. You can't put a string into an integer. It just doesn't work. It's like a puzzle. It doesn't add up, right? So I say set int 1. Now, why do I say 1? It's because that's my first column. Look, if you see the pattern, 2, right? I say second column, 3, my third column, 4, my fourth column. You get the idea, okay? Now, let's go back. And then, why do I have 0? Well, I didn't really want to put 0. I actually wanted to leave it blank, but I can't do that, so I gotta have 0. I have 0 is because it's irrelevant what number. You can put any number you want in here, because it doesn't really matter, because remember, our ID is going to auto increment. So every time a new account is made, it's going to add 1 number. So if I make an account by the name of Zana, it's going to give me an ID of 6 maybe. You make an account, it's going to give you an ID of 7. Your friend makes an account, it's going to give it an ID of 8. Irrelevant of what this number is, it's always going to give you an incremented ID. So put in 0 just for safety. So that's what that is. Next, we have seen this before. PS.set string. We set a string, and number 2, which is our name, and then we say name field. Remember, name field, which is this field right here. It's called name field. So we say get the text from name field, and then we do number 3. We say column number 3 because it's email. So then we say email field dot get text age, and so on, all the other ones. And then finally we say ps.execute, right? And then we just let the user know, hey, you're registered. Sorry about that. I think I deleted there. You don't really need it right now. We're going to be adding it in the maybe next tutorial. So if you have it disposed right there, if you copied it down, delete it because we don't need it. Okay. So I just say JOption pane, show message dialog, null, and I simply tell the user, hey, you're registered. Pretty cool, huh? Okay. Technically, everything should be working fine now. So, yeah. Yeah, everything should be working fine. So let's test it. Now, open up Firefox. Go into SQLite, because we want to check if we're really creating an account. So go into Web Developer, SQLite Manager. Okay, SQLite Manager always seems to take its time. But anyways, so this is basically, yes, always, just always. Okay, so go open your tables, go into users. Okay, so here's our table that we made in the first video. Yeah, this is pretty much it. Remember, I made an account in my first video. I named it Zana and all that stuff. Well, it's still in here, of course. Now, so basically, when we make an account in here, when we register, our name and stuff should all come in here, should all come in this box right here. So we should get another one with the ID of 2, and it should, you know, everything should match up perfectly. So let's see if that happens. So fingers crossed. Let's launch the program. Okay. Now let's see if it works. Let's go to register. I'm gonna make up a name. I'm gonna say, for example, if somebody, his name is I don't know, John Bobby. Oh, John Bobby. His age is 32. His johnb@gmail.com. This is only made up. Okay, so let's say his username is John and his password is John. Now, when we click register, everything should work fine, and you should say register successfully. Let's do this. 3, 2, 1. Great, perfect. Register successfully. Well, let's check. Let's see if it's lying or not. Let's go in here, refresh. Where's the refresh button? There's got to be a refresh button in here. Is there? I don't know. But there, okay. All I had to do was refresh it. So if you just click on the tables or click somewhere else and then go back to your table, it'll refresh. So you can see here, well, it gave it an ID of 0. That's fine. But his name is John Bobby. Email is johnb@gmail.com. His age is 32. Username and password is John. Let's make another one. Just see if everything goes right. So let's go back in here. Let's say this one's name is John Lee. His age is 26. His email is John Lee, and his username is John Lee 123, and his, let's say, his password is John Lee 123. Okay, let's click register. Primary key must be unique. Abort due to constraint violation key. Let's see. I know what the problem is already. And that problem should not be happening. Wait, it worked before. I mean, I did this before. I'm gonna go pause the video and find the problem so I don't waste any time. So I'm gonna be back and I'm gonna figure out the problem. I'll be right back. Okay, guys. I solved the error, and it is absolutely amazing. I'm going to use this in my own application after I finish this video. So let me tell you what the issue was first. SQLite, the auto increment in SQLite is really messed up, and it's kind of crap, right? So when you the only time it's actually really going to auto increment is if you actually go to SQLite, you know, literally click on it and add another row. And who does that? Nobody does that. That's not how you use a table. You always use code to do that for you. And sadly, SQLite is too shit, literally, to do that. So what we did was we learned something even better. So I'm going to teach you something way better, professional. What we're going to make is every time a new account is made, straight away we're going to generate a huge unique ID for the user. So this will be way better than the simple number 1 or number 2. This is going to be like a 30 long, ID. So it's very, very simple. Don't be freaked out. First thing first, what's that? I don't need that. Okay, first thing first, you're gonna need to import this. It's import java.util uuid in capitals. Okay, we need that. Okay, so import that. Next, go to right here where you made all the other variables. So right above your class, right below it. Sorry. So where you made all your other variables. So go there and you're gonna do uuid capitals. Make a variable name, I called it UID, and set it to null. Okay, so do that. Then go down. Wait, oh, oops, sorry about that. Let me import. Okay, sorry there. Okay, next, not login button. Where's our register button? So yes, there's our register button. So basically, inside the try here. What we do is we just say UID, which we created up here. So we said UID, okay, and we set it to null. So now we give it a value. So we say UID equals UUID dot random UUID, and that's what you put in. Okay, so basically what this does is this gives a whole unique random ID to that user, and then simply instead of writing oh yeah, and I did change something else actually. Remember our ID in the first tutorial? I made it an int. Well, I changed it. We had to change it to a string. So I'm going to teach you how to change it. So write this code down right now. So we do ps.setString1, which is our ID now. Our ID, and we say 1. And we say string.value of UID. So make sure you have that right there. So string.value of UID, which is this here. So basically, we just get the string value of the unique ID. Now, let's go into SQLite, which I'm really, really annoyed with right now. So I'm going to open it, SQLite. Okay. Somehow, okay, loading. There it is. Okay. So here it is. Now, in your, let's see, just click on the users right there, or whatever it's called, whatever your table is called. Go into structure. Now you're gonna have this. So inside structure, you have all your columns. You have your ID, your name, your email, your age, and all that. Click on the ID, right click, and click edit column. Now when you edit column, right, yours is gonna look like this. Well, yours is gonna be an int here. No, it's gonna say int here, int. You want to change it to this varchar, which is a varchar. Change it to that, right? And that's pretty much it. Once you're done that, you click change, and like so, yes, and that's pretty much it. Once that's done, your integer is now going to be, your ID is now going to be a varchar, and it can accept strings. So now let's test our oops, I closed Firefox. Shouldn't have done that. Now clean and build. Click run. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so we're gonna go in here. I'm gonna make John Bobby, and we're gonna say age. His age just says 32. His email is johnb@gmail.com. His thing is just johnb123. John B123. Okay, so fill out all the stuff. We click register, and it says register successfully. Well, let's see if it did. Go into Firefox. Yeah, this is Windows 8. So go into your SQLite manager. This video is turning out to be very, very annoying. Okay, how much time have I got left? No, long video. Okay. Alright, so here's our SQLite. So let's click. Where is it? Browse and search. And as you can see, well, this one I made earlier on, so it's pretty stupid. Let me delete that one. Okay. Yes, there it is. So let me. I'm just trying to resize it a little. Okay. So here it is right there, as you can see. So well, the row ID is nothing. So look at that. It gave it an ID. Look at this ID. Look at it. It's huge. Like, this ID is absolutely massive. Like, let me copy it, right? Let me copy it. Let me open up Notepad. Look at this ID. It's so professional, as you can see. Much better than using the number 1, 2, or 3. Much better. So make sure you do that. So as you can see, he gave it a unique ID. His name is John Bobby. His email is johnb@gmail.com. He's 32 years old. His username is johnb123, and his password is johnb123. So as you can see, we successfully can create accounts now, and you can do this as many times as you want, and you know, register successfully. And watch here, if something is missing, so clicks, it says invalid details, please try again. If something else is missing, it's going to say invalid details. So as you can see, and right now, you know the way we created a new account, you should be able to log in with it. So let's click John B123, that was the thing, and his password was John B123. So we should be able to log in now. Let's go log in. As you can see, it says logged in because we just created an account. So that's pretty cool. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry for the change of events. I had to, you know, change some stuff, but at the end of the day, the video works and the application works, and I'm gonna go add this to my own application because it's so amazing. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you in the next tutorial. Peace.